Yo, good morning, it's your man AC Star. You now tuned into the AC Star Morning Show. Let's get it, let's get it. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day today. You know what I'm saying? We just trying to make this happen. See what's going on out here in these YouTube streets. And I would like to welcome you to the AC Star Show in the episode 4. Yo, check it out, man. I got a lot of interesting topics today. The main thing that I want to talk about, yo, is all this YouTube beef, man. Like, wow, it's a lot of YouTube beef out here, man. A lot of beef going on. A lot of things going on. You know, how we gonna fix this, man? How we gonna deal with all this YouTube beef, man? Every time we turn around, somebody beefing, man. Every time we look up, somebody got some beef going on, man. Every time. You know, what's all that about, man? Is it about the money? Is it about the clout? Is it about it's only a few that can really get the money like that? What is it really about? Yo, y'all gotta let me know, man, what it's really about, man. What is really good with all this YouTube beef, man. Ever since I came into this sector, all I known is beef. Every time you turn around, somebody is beefing. Y'all can't hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? Is the mic up? Can you hear me? Can y'all hear me now? Is it better? Can you hear me? Let me know what's going on. Can y'all hear me? Man, I don't know. I got this new hookup, man, and I don't know what's going on. Can you hear me? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Cause it seemed like my audio is bad. Like my audio is real bad. Like I don't know what's going on. But put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. If the audio is bad, put a 1 in the chat. I got I'm using a sound condenser, Rallo. I got a sound condenser. I don't know. I just plugged it in. I don't know. Like it sound real bad. Like y'all can't hear me at all. Let me know, man, because I'll stop it and go again, man, because I was just using a regular mic, so I don't know what's going on.
You're now listening to Elon Music.
Wow, y'all can't hear me? It's not good? The sound is not good? Oh, man, I don't know what's up, man. Can y'all hear me better now? Can y'all hear me better now? What about now? Can y'all hear me? What about now? Is that better? Can y'all hear me? It's still real low? It's still real low? Oh man, that's why I hate hooking up these new things, man. I thought I had a decent setup. I got the mic, got the condenser. I don't know what's going on here, man. Peace, Miss FedEx. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me or no? Is it bad? Is it bad? Let me know. Give me a 1 if it's still low. Audio still low? Oh man, let me try to figure this out, man. Let me try to figure this out. What about right now? Can y'all hear me better now? What about now? Can y'all hear me better now? What about now? Can y'all hear me? Let me try this. What about that? Is that better? Is that better right there? Is it better? Is that better? Is that a little bit better? Is that a little bit better? No? Is that better? Can y'all hear me? Is that better right there? That's better? My bad. Got a new program, y'all. Got this new program and it's acting up on your boy. My bad. But yo, again, let me start all over. Let me welcome everybody to the AC Star Morning Show. My bad about the technical difficulties, man. You know, when you trying to do this thing, man, you trying to do it right and you trying to give a great presentation for your people. You know what I mean? You want to make sure that everything is good and make sure that the sound quality is great. You know what I mean? So how does that sound? Does the mic sound clear? Does it sound clear? Does the mic sound low? It's still low? It's still low? The mic is still low? Is that better? The microphone is still low. Is that better? Is that better? I want to give a big shout out to everybody in the chat room. Please don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and share button. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, it's January 25th. We got a lot going on. Current events, football playoffs. I know my man Rollo gonna love that. I want to give a big shout out to everybody in the chat. Deacon Charles, my man Rollo, Miss FedEx, my wonderful co-host Miss Antea Williams. Y'all will be introduced to her real soon. She real soon. So yo, wow, man, we got a lot going on in these YouTube streets, man. We got a lot of beef, man. We got a lot of beef with the big people, man. The O'Shea's, and you know, I'm not. And listen, what AC Star don't do is that I'm not the kind of dude that's gonna use your name for clout chasing and all that. Nah, I ain't doing all that. Like, I ain't doing all that. My thing is this, right? If you beefing with somebody, that's on you, right? But we gotta look at the beef. We gotta see what the beef is really about. When we see these big YouTubers and Black Sector beefing with everybody, peace to my big bro, to the Sensei John the Analyst, East Coast in the building. Yo, when we seeing these big beefs, now John, you jumped in it head first, right? But when we see these big beefs like that, right? Where, and you know what's funny? You know what's funny? Like, these guys are beefing, but neither one of these guys are in America. Like, it's like, you know, they're beefing for this crown, and they're beefing to defend Kevin Samuels and defend all these people. But what the beef is really about, it's about money. See, when these guys try to separate themselves from the Pookie and the Ray Rays and make it seem like their lifestyle and what they're doing is different, and it's a traditional lifestyle in their businesses, and they try to put all the professional monikers on it and make you, man, this shit is a fucking hustle, right? It's a hustle. It's how you package your product, how you put it out there, how you sell it. This is a hustle, right? So now the block is getting tighter, right? The money ain't the same, right? So now they gotta split the pie. Like, it's like, damn, this man getting all this money, this man getting all this money. So it's like they're trying to defend each other, right? It's like, we gotta get down with this dude because we gotta make sure that he bringing in the money because we get the residuals off whatever he do. Right? So they're fighting over the top spots to get the money. They're trying to carve out their little niche in Black YouTube, and they're trying to hold on to Black YouTube and hold on to the ideas of the manosphere, but at the same time go into popular pop culture and do the gossiping, celebrity talk, and all these things like that, right? And I understand these are business decisions, right? These gentlemen are very articulate in what their business decisions is. They talk about how they're in business and how they employ people, things of that nature, right? So when you're in business, right, you have to worry about the bottom line. You have to worry about the income coming in and all this and that, right? But for me, all this behavior, all the beefing is reminiscent to the things I seen when I was in the hood, right? Like, me and my boys, we was one crew, right? We all used to hang out in the same bar called Klotzy's, right? Klotzy's Tavern, right? It was a bar in the middle of the hood, right? And it was adjacent to 4 different blocks. You had the Spring Passaic Street block. You had my block, 808, 587. Then you had the other end of Spring Street. You had the boys on on Cal Street. You had the other cats on the other end of West Hanover. So you had like different crews in one neighborhood. We all, like, on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we all used to be in this one bar, right? But it was all separated, right? And we used to beef. But you know, and y'all know what the beef was about. It was about the money. It was about the block. It was about who was going to run this block. Who was going to do the shit to control the block. Who was going to be the one to say, our crew got this block, right? So that's what we seeing now. We're seeing different crews argue over who's going to be the leader of this crew, who's going to be the face of this sector, who's going to be and the crazy part about it is none of them really want it, but they all want to represent it, and they all want to tell the world, yo, this is how it's going to be, and this is who run. They got lists to say who's certified, who this, who that, right? And all this is about is a bunch of other men arguing about other men's pocketbooks, wallets, and purses. And then The value of the content suffers. The information that the people is supposed to get suffers. The message suffers. See, I'm not any of those sectors, right? But I do understand that these intelligent people created these sectors to kind of disseminate and allow for information to permeate the black man spaces, and for black men to have spaces where they can come and politic and learn and share information and share knowledge and share traditional values and things of that nature, and create a space where they can go and find commonality with other men, right? AKA the barbershop, right? But the difference over here is it doesn't. A lot of these entities don't necessarily have a barbershop feel to it. They have more like a club or a group, but conservative clubs and groups, and you know, like the Little Rascals, you know, the all boys club, right? No girls in, right? They had the big ass sign in the treehouse, no girls in, till Alfalfa ass pull up with Darla, right? Then he done fucked everything up. And that's the same thing that we see over here. We see people arguing about money and people fighting about money and people saying, hey man, don't call out my boy, he getting money, blah 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 blah, you a hater, this, that, and the third, right? But it's because they're trying to separate from us. They're trying to distinguish themselves as the elite, as the best of us. And it don't matter how they got there, right? But they quick to knock Pookie and Ray Rays and be like, oh, Pookie and Ray Rays ain't shit. You niggas sell drugs, y'all pump and dump, blah, 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 blah. Somebody please tell me the fucking difference between what these niggas doing and what niggas on the street do. The only difference is ain't no fucking real bullets flying. These niggas ain't about to put in no work. They just gonna argue over YouTube. So when these niggas is quick to call everybody Pookie and Ray Rays and talk about all the hypocritical shit that they talk about and point fingers and call people dusty and all this crazy shit, you niggas is showing the worst fucking behavior known to man, all to defend somebody else's pocketbook. All this beef is not about the individuals per se, it's about money and how they don't want this person getting money selling this dream. What in America is really genuine and legit? Everything in America, besides some fucking toilet paper and a few products here and there, is some shit that they selling you that's gonna eventually fuck up. Dating tips don't always work. Life skill tips don't always work. So if a person got a hustle and they figured out how to package some bullshit and sell it to a person and somebody willing to buy it, don't get mad at the motherfucking player, get mad at the motherfucking game. The game is to be bought and sold. These niggas are selling game, and it's okay. But let the people who's buying the game figure out if it's sucker game or not. Everybody stop crashing into people's shit, telling them, yo, you fucked up for doing this, you fucked up. People will figure out if it's a ruse in due time. You're not saving anybody by crashing into somebody else's platform and telling them they full of shit, they fucked up, this, that, and the third. It does make you look like a hater. If your only thing is to critique somebody and deconstruct them, this is the crazy thing to me, right? You ever notice that these black YouTubers, they can all deconstruct each other, but they'll never go and deconstruct some white people shit, right? Only us crazy pro-blacks and the brothers in the B1, brothers and sisters in the B1 sector. But for the most part, most big-time black YouTubers will never make a video destroying whiteness or destroying white fuckery. Never. Just black fuckery. Just the lowest common denominator fuckery. They all do it. Then they call us dusties and we broke and this, that, and the third, and I'm successful and this, that. I may not have your money, but I graduated from NYU. I served 8 years in the military. I have a startup business that I'm working on right now and that's doing better each year. And I'm a loving father and I have a loving, beautiful family. And my kids are successful high school graduates and a couple of them on their way to college. And one has already done like 5 or 6 years in the military. So if I don't have your economics per se and I ain't making $200,000 on YouTube, I'm not a dusty and I'm not a failure. I'm very successful. And the crazy part about it is I can stay right here in America. I ain't got to go to nobody else's country. I ain't got to do none of that shit. I ain't got to hide out. I ain't got to try to reinvent myself somewhere. I can reinvent myself right here on these YouTube streets. Matter of fact, I ain't even got to reinvent myself. This platform gives me an opportunity to be my authentic self. A motherfucker who like to talk a lot and talk about relevant shit and tie all things in, especially things that I observe. But this beef that I'm seeing in this YouTube sector since I've been here is pretty much similar to the beef that I seen out in the street. That's why when these guys try to separate themselves and act like they're better and hold themselves to a high esteem, I always like to reference back to their finer points, their beef, right? Their beef videos, their man, fuck these dusty niggas, fuck that, blah 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 blah. I like to use that as Exhibit 1A. Exhibit 1A to say that you niggas ain't no different than the people that y'all come on here and talk about. Right? See, what we don't understand about life and the conversations that we don't have about life is deviance. That shit happens in all sectors of life. Deviance is just not a common denominator that happens in the lower sectors of life in the poor, disadvantaged communities. Deviance happens on all sectors. We just watched the President of the United States be one of the most deviant motherfuckers in the history of the world. We watch people that believed in him commit crimes, federal crimes, just because they thought they had the right to. So deviance is not a thing or that's just, regulated to those of us in the lower, or those of them in the lower economics, or those of us who chose the street life earlier in our life. Deviance goes everywhere. And what we're seeing here is a level of deviance that we won't acknowledge because it's wrapped around some idea of these people being better or being leaders. So we don't call out their deviance because they're the leaders. They're the forefathers. So we won't associate their behavior and their mannerisms with what we see in the street people or what we see in our communities on a daily basis. It's the same fucking thing, people. The only thing they use character assassinations and doxing as their weapons. They try to take the ability to denigrate you and say that your past makes you fucked up, makes you invalid, makes you non-credible, right? Who does that? White people. When white people want to get you out the paint and they don't want you to have no value, they try to discredit you. Every time we see something happen to a black person that's a victim of white supremacy or victim of police brutality or victim of an unjust crime or unjust murder, the first thing they do is try to demean and dehumanize the person, to give them less credibility, to make their worth less valuable. So it'll be easier for people to not see them as a victim. And that's what they do over here. Family, please get the likes up. Please share. Please subscribe. Please help your boy AC out. I'm trying to do this thing. Help me out. Please help me out. Please help me out. Let me know if you can hear me clear, if the audio is better, if everything is working out with the audio. Yeah, so all this beef that we see in this sector, it's no different than the beef we see in the street. Right? And we got to start calling these people out and saying, if you're going to come at Pookie and Ray Ray's and use your platform to talk about dysfunctional behavior, then you also have to point the finger at yourself when you create these contrived beefs and these internationally contrived beefs that's about blackness. Not to say that brothers can't travel and be where they are, because if you're fortunate enough to be in another country and to absorb and to live amongst another culture and do things to civilize yourself and to make yourself a well-rounded individual, power to you, my brothers and sisters. Power to you. But at the same time, you can't have international beef going about African American lifestyles and African Americans being better, but you're beefing internationally, right? And you're not necessarily representing us in a sense of the world sees greatness through you guys and see us. What the world sees is you guys separating yourselves from African Americans and being part of a global tribe, which is cool. But once you take yourself out of the circle, I mean, it's kind of hard for you to point back to the people that's still in it and tell them what they need to do. See, I'm the kind of person, like, if you going to train me, you got to be on the ground with me. See, you can't tell me what to do from 30,000 feet up because you just hovering over me and you being a helicopter, whatever, mentor, parent, whatever. Be down on the ground with me so you can see the conditions, so that you can help me adapt and change to the conditions. But we don't get that. And now these brothers are smart, intelligent, articulate brothers. They're businessmen, things of that nature. But do their ability to maneuver and live in the world, do that really help everyday black Americans? See, we try to come into this space and we try to hide, and we try to make our demons not be what they are, and we try to come in this space and we try to give the world a different face of who we are. We try to pretend to, not pretend to the world, but we try to project to the world, this is who we are, this is who I am. And then we run into these people who want to undermine that, who want to change that, who want to make you irrelevant because they want your position. They want your block. Because that's all this is the block. It's no coincidence that we call them these YouTube streets. It's no coincidence. But the thing is, right? See, you could be the OG, the 5-star general on YouTube, right? Because there's really no repercussions outside of somebody doxing you. There's really nothing that's gonna be done to you because nobody's catching flights. Nobody's really, you know what I'm saying, doing any of that shit. So you pretty much get to be and do what the fuck you want to do up until your conscience kick in and then you realize you full of shit, if that happens. So yo, stay away from the YouTube beefers, man. Let them be where they at. Let them do what they do, right? Let's stay away from that shit, man. Let's try our best to not continue to dumb ourselves down, because that's what we're doing. We're dumbing ourselves down. We're having these conversations about dating, things of that nature. Come on, man. We're a race of 60 million people. We don't love each other and we don't get along with each other because we're taking our whole life and putting it in the hands of others. And then when it's time for us to make decisions and do things that benefit ourselves, we gotta look to others for the answers. We can't even look to ourselves because we're so busy doing that bullshit. I mean, we actually got beef sectors. You got roasting sectors. You got all type of sectors. And for what? What purpose are they serving doing this? What purpose are we serving? Just to get out our angst and our vexation about being black in America, so we take it out on each other. We never take it out on the people who causing us to be in this discomfort. We always take it out on everybody else. See, they're not gonna beef with the white dating coaches. They're not gonna beef with the white manosphere that kicked them out. They're only gonna beef with other black people that they feel superior to. See, that's the one thing black people, that's that one little caveat that the rest of the black world is starting to understand, right? If you don't want to be black, all you got to do is claim a bunch of white belief systems. If you want to sit your blackness down and just put it to the side while you try to figure things out, all you got to do is pick up a white ideology, a white philosophy, whether it be religion, right? Whether it be red pill, blue pill, right? Because the red pill, blue pill is really associated with the black woman who created the Matrix. And her aspect of it wasn't so much of what they correlated it with over here. So what happens is when we see these beef, right? These guys got to pick their blackness back up, because in order to really beef, you got to be able to talk shit. You got to show bravado. You got to show all that shit, right? Like, yeah, nigga, you a sucker, nigga, you a hater. You know, their diction change. They start talking real black. They start using a lot of street jargon, right? Just to kind of get that street credibility to say that this beef is real. But let me read what I got on my screen. What's beef, right? Beef is when you really beefing. Beef is when, nigga, you gotta look out your window. You gotta have your girl start your car. Like, you niggas ain't beefing. You niggas just having a catty argument. See, I know real beef. I seen real beef up front and personal. See, beef is when they kidnap your kids. See, you niggas this ain't beef. You niggas just chatty patties having a YouTube disagreement. This ain't beef. See, I know beef. Beef is that shit you watching in New York where the nigga in the Bronx walked up to the nigga and tapped the nigga on the shoulder, and when the nigga turned around, he pulled that trigger. See, that's beef. See, beef is the shit I used to get into in the late 90s and the early 2000s when I shouldn't even been a part of none of that shit. See, beef is the shit that wake me up at night when I think about all the fights and all the shit I went through in the street behind beef. Real beef. Where I fought with a nigga for damn near an hour and a half in the parking lot about a block that ain't belong to neither one of us. And I bear the scars to this day. See, beef is when you leave the block and you take your kids to Chuck E. Cheese and you come back and the whole block is filled with yellow tape and your man is at the crib with bullets everywhere because y'all was beefing with cats early in the day. But you had a family obligation, and when you came back, your hood was ravaged with bullets. See, what these guys don't understand on here is y'all talking a lot of shit and y'all ain't gonna do nothing. And then y'all giving the wrong image out to the people and making people think that this is the way to go and this is how it's supposed to be. Nah, this ain't how it's supposed to be. Stay out of each other's pockets. If you got a crew and you down with your crew, then you and your crew stay where y'all at. And when sucking niggas come shooting shots at y'all, y'all ignore that shit. Cause that shit ain't real beef. That shit is sucker shit. That shit is my money getting low and I see you getting paid and I want in. And the only way I can get in, cause I'm not creative enough to create another pathway or to create another level of income, I'm gonna sabotage yours and get at your money. You know how they got that term, the American way? For me, behavior like that is the black way. A lot of times when African American people see you successful or see you doing something, they either copy what you do to undermine you or they'll defame you to undermine you. See, we don't use this platform in this space to inform each other. We use it to really separate, create these separations, create these divisions, create these cliques, like I talked about in my last live. Where we still stuck in this high school mentality and this young mentality, right? Now we got cats that ain't even street cats talking about they beefing. We know they not street cats. We know that. You know a real nigga when you see him and when you hear him. So yo, stay away from the beef. What's good? What's good? Let me get some shout outs real quick. We got Miss FedEx. We got Penny Sparks in the building. We got my man Psycho Payfy. So Psycho, that was a great live, man, that you did Saturday, man. The words of Malcolm X, man, really resonated with me, man, and it really gave me a sense of how I've always felt was not wrong. The sense of black people building up our own, and if we build up our own, we don't necessarily have to worry about integration or anything like that. That was dope. I really appreciate that. I got my love, Sweet Pea Diabetes in the building. You know what I mean? Fan favorite. Yo, Renaissance man, peace to you, my brother. Peace to you, my brother. Peace to you, my brother. All right, current events. Yo, so we got this whole thing with the Biden 100 days. We got this whole thing with the Biden 100 days, right? And we got everybody wondering what he's going to do for the black race in the next 100 days. And I really need to know what the hell can he do for black America in 100 days? Sign some executive orders that will do what? Do what? I'm give me some answers. Somebody give me some answers. Somebody tell me what they think may be what's going on, cause I'm lost. I'm lost at the people who are such in a rush to have him do something for Black America right now. I heard Charlemagne the God talking about it. I heard another YouTube talking about it, right? I hear other people talk. I hear progressives. I hear the Ben Dixons of the world talking about it, right? And now the thing is, Black people got you in, so you're going to have to make it happen. And listen, y'all guys are 100% correct. Black people got him in, and he owe us a ton. But do we want it to be rushed, or do we want it to have value? Everybody running around using the word tangible and using the word, tangible. Tangible is like the go-to word when we talk about what Black people don't get, right? So I just want to kind of understand, where that's at with it. Where's the tangibles that y'all talking about? How can these tangibles manifest themselves? What do y'all expect? So I'm going to look in the chat and I'm going to see what y'all talking about. Okay, you say Biden ain't giving nobody, Black people, none, Sweet Pea. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by he's not going to give us anything? Because for me, right, like I always say, the one thing about Black people is it seems like our idea of politics stops at our vote, right? Like, we got to understand that it takes organization, it takes finances, it takes other things. It's just not our vote that's necessarily gonna garner what we want from these politicians, right? Support, organization, political action groups, things of that nature that can amplify the voice, that can amplify the needs that we're asking for, amplify what we want in return for our vote, right? For our loyalty to the party. You need voices to amplify that. And not just the voices that everybody go up against or everybody critique, like the civil rights leaders, or like that meeting that he had in the beginning where everybody sought to say, well, he talked down to him, this, that, and the third, and took the whole conversation out of context, when that's not really what it was. Yes, he was on the defense. Joe Biden was definitely on the defense, right? He was definitely on the defense when it came to certain questions. But he started the conversation off with saying, listen, I know for a fact you guys got me in there. But what we have to understand is it's the policymakers within his administration that come up with the policies and come up with the agenda, right? And they take their cues from other groups and other sectors and other factions, not only in the Democratic Party, that are independent, that are Republican. So his core group around him, right? They formulate an idea, they formulate an agenda, and then they try to find partners in pursuing that agenda. So let me read some of these chats. I got these people complaining about Biden who voted for him need to shut the fuck up. He's doing what the fuck he said he was going to do the first 100 days. I've done streams about it months ago, so why are they shocked? Most of the people talking about tangibles don't understand basic civics, facts. Sweet Pea, Black people didn't make demands before the elections. Why make them after? Well, Sweet Pea, that's kind of this is the thing, right? When we make demands, right? I'm trying to figure out what we say when we make them. What demands are we making in a initial administration, right? Like this, I think we just missed the whole civics thing of understanding how these things work and how bills are formulated, how agendas are formulated. They're not like these holistic things that come out. They're these part and parcel entities that are pieced together by different ideas and different agendas, and then they're merged and purged till something that could benefit the masses come from, right? Like we see with the COVID bills, right? Where we got the stimulus checks, this, that, and the third, right? It's a whole bunch of pork and earmarks and other things for their people, and then the bill goes out. So when we talk about this idea of giving to Black people and what he's going to do for Black people, what what are we asking for? What are we lobbying for? What are we advocating for, right? Are we using those descriptors to describe our agenda or our pursuits? Or are we just leaving it up to them to create agendas, right? Or so through osmosis, they're supposed to say, okay, we're purveying the black community, we see the issues, and we're going to do this. So what about if that doesn't work? What about what they think is the remedy is not the remedy, right? But if we leave it up to them and we don't give our opinion on what it should be, or we don't give our agenda, how are we to think that they're going to understand how to fix it? So when people say, you know, it is what it is, how can we determine that from a administration that hasn't even got 2 days or 2 weeks in? Like we want to demonize Biden. We want him to fail, right? We're not giving him the same leeway we gave Trump. We didn't hear this in Trump's first 100 days, right? If anything, we heard black people say, man, fuck, give him a chance. They parroted what he said. What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? Right? We have a lot to lose. We had a lot to lose. And that's why he lost. And now it seems like the Democrats are being put on blast by not only the people who, the far leftists and the centrists and the independents, but also the Republican Party. And none of you people held Donald Trump to none of this shit. The only thing y'all critique was his behavior. Never talked about his agenda. Because a lot of black men thought that there would be some bones in that agenda for them. That this white man, this misogynistic, he don't give a fuck about women and morals and rules and boundaries. White man will somehow carve out a little spot for black male masculinity and black male misogynistic behavior. So I'm just trying to understand people's notion of the first 100 days. That's what I'm trying to understand. That's what I'm trying to understand. Because for me, it's like, well, what are we giving? What are we putting back into the pot to get this? What are we expecting from this group? Peace, Darren Marion. Peace. Thanks for coming through, my brother. Thanks for coming through. Thanks for coming through. See, because for me, I feel like people want Biden to fail. I feel like a lot of people want Biden to fail, and I don't know. Like I really don't understand. I can't get into this thing that this beef that people got with you know, Charlemagne talking about, you know, Biden already done enough wrong in the black community. You know what I mean? He hurt enough black community. Now this is coming from a nigga who sold crack in the hood. Like, come on, dog. Cool. You know what I mean? Like, this is we're like, we wanna. I know what Biden did was wrong. The crime bill was wrong. But Biden wasn't the only person responsible for the crime bill. And I'm not gonna allow my intelligence to be for me to forsake my intelligence, to ignore that there was a lot of people, groundswell of people, who pushed that man to create that god-awful bill. It wasn't just him. He wasn't the only one who sought to do that goofball shit. He wasn't. So it's like, we have all these detractors and we have all these people, and I'm trying to understand, what is the detractors' issues? What are the, because they want a progressive agenda so that they could, you know, capitalize, because people want a progressive agenda so that they can capitalize on it. They talk about capitalism is bad, blah, 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 blah. But they want the sector to be open up to more people so that they can get their message out to more people, because more ears, more eyes mean more money. So if you make the world a more diverse place and you let more voices and more sectors and more factions be heard and have a say at the table, then that creates a more diverse pot and a more economically diverse pot. See, for me, I watch what people say based on their agenda. See, people like that, like the Republicans, they don't want it to be a progressive agenda because a progressive agenda won't put money in their pocket. It'll put money in the pockets of progressives. Right? This is not about whether they call it the progressive agenda, the far left agenda is going to bankrupt America. No, it's going to give people that are not conservatives more money. They're going to have an equal playing field. They're going to have an equal say in society, and it's not just going to be a white male-dominated society with white women trailing behind for the control of the United States of America. So when everybody is critiquing these particular groups and saying Biden ain't going to do this, Biden ain't going to do that, are we saying it from a legislation base, or are we saying it because we don't want him to succeed? See, Biden doesn't create the laws. The president never sets the agenda. See, Donald Trump wasn't the one who set all his financial agendas. That's why he went and got all those Wall Street guys like Nick Mulvaney, right? And made them in charge of his budget, right? Made him in charge of OBM. Because he understood that a financial guy will figure out how to make him more money and make people like him more money. See, Trump's agenda wasn't necessarily an agenda to help Americans. It was an agenda to help the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Not only financially, but through boundaries and mechanisms that will help our food be safer, help our drinking water be safer, help the medications that we take be safer. See, when Trump came in, he undid those regulations because those regulations that create the safety valves cost money. It costs money for your factory to dump the water properly. It costs money to have filtration systems to your factory that poison water systems. Those things cost money. So if I take out and deregulate those things and I no longer have those regulations and you can pour cow blood and all kind of animal blood into the water systems and there be no consequence to it, then this rich company owner is going to make more money based on me taking away those regulations. So each political party agenda is really based on how can they economically benefit by being in office. See, Obama wasn't a corporate. He wasn't a corporate titan. So he dealt with the entities in the industries that he knew. So he dealt with finance. He dealt with mortgage companies. And he necessarily didn't deal with them to get an advantage from them. He just wanted them to level out so they wouldn't bankrupt the country. See, he benefited off his intellect. So when he got out, he wrote books. See, Obama didn't benefit corporate-wise. He benefited off his intellectual properties, which was his brain. Right? There is no constitutional law business, right? We don't buy constitutional law at the corner store, right? That's a high-minded thing. So there's really no corporate cash cow he can cash in on by being a constitutional lawyer. So he utilized his mindset. Now, if we go back to the Bushes, their thing was oil, right? So they went into Iraq, right? We go with Reagan and them. Their things was drugs, so they went into Nicaragua and all that, right? See, we can see the trajectory of the United States of America and where they go and what they do and who's in power to figure out what they trying to capitalize off of. See, a lot of people look at these wars that we go into like, oh, we're not the policemen of the country. We don't go into these countries worrying about policing those countries. We go into those countries trying to steal their motherfucking resources. If those resources aren't in an abundant amount here in our country. See, that's the whole thing about America. The people that say fuck capitalism capitalize off of it. Bernie Sanders talk about we got to do this, he's a progressive, he's an independent, blah, 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 blah. But Bernie Sanders is a capitalist. He capitalized off his position of being a longtime senator and supposedly being an independent and all this and that. And he wrote a book and he made $1 million off the book. And I ain't mad at Bernie Sanders. But my thing is, when people get into these things and they want to say that this politician ain't gonna do that for black people and this politician ain't gonna do that for black people, this is the thing. Black people are no longer a corporation, so it's gonna be pretty hard for them to think to do something for us. Now, when we was a corporation and we were slaves and they could do whatever they wanted and imprison us and all that, they ain't had no problem with that. They had an agenda for us. Lock us the fuck up, keep us out the way, and get us off welfare, and get us menial jobs and state jobs and jobs where they can control us. And that's what this beef is all about, right? If you bring it back to that, that's what all this YouTube beef is about. I want to control you. I want to direct you over here to Kevin Samuels. I want to direct you over here to you. I want to direct you over here to this person. I need your attention. I need your wallet. I need your money. Because I'm about to sell you a bag of bullshit. And until you realize that's what I'm doing, I need you to buy this bullshit. Because I'm selling it. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing people try to capitalize off of black people's inability to have a cohesive idea of who, what, and where we are in the midst of this republic, in the midst of this nation as it grows and it becomes different. Could y'all please hit the like button and share? I'm sorry, man. I be talking. I ain't even looking at the chat. We play more politics too much. It's a dirty game and we need to get up our Bill Belichick like everybody else. Yeah, Psycho. I feel you. I don't necessarily think we need to do a Bill Belichick, right? But I think that we need to be what you played in Malcolm X, bro. We need to understand that building our own is what's gonna get us, and not when you wait on somebody to do something for you, the expectations of them doing it for you is so burning and so maddening that if they don't do it, you almost lose yourself. We put ourselves in these expectation boxes to think that politicians are gonna save our lives when in essence they're really not. Like in New Jersey, right? Like I was saying earlier, they passed the law, the marijuana bill, and now it's being held up. You know why it's being held up? Because somebody found a flaw in it that said kids under 18, right? So if you under 18, you're gonna get arrested for marijuana. Now who put that in the bill? The Republicans. Because their whole thing was, these Democrats ain't gonna get everything. We still gonna keep the status quo. We still gonna lock them up. We still gotta have that law and order mechanism in there. Until a smart Democrat seen them like, oh, wait a minute. Right? So even when when the Democrats try to do the right thing by black people, what happens? You have the Republicans undermining them to keep the status quo. And what's the status quo? That the black people should always be criminally seen. Like our existence is criminality. Existence is criminality. And instead of us coalescing to beat back ideologies like that, all we're doing is transferring our real lives and our real realities. We're transferring into these social media platforms, and we're just carrying on the dysfunction. And we're pretending to be high-minded, high-level people when we're not. Basically, low-level conversation, Psycho. We're being distracted like the natives. Like somebody handed us a peace pipe and now we're just talking about, gossip, celebrity gossip and shit like that. We're not talking about building for the 21st century. We're not talking about being able to live our lives and being able to compete as we see other demographics come in to compete for the same jobs that we have, right? We're not having conversations about how do we become doctors and lawyers, and how as older adults we're not afraid of technology and we're not afraid of becoming a part of STEM, right? We're not having conversations like that. Our conversations are being dumbed down to the point where we're talking about relationships and things of that nature like that's the most important thing. It's not. Our relationships are broken because love is not at the base of them. Money is. Finances is. You got this new thing now where it's like, I don't want struggle love. This nigga, he got to be rich. He got to have everything going, and it's got to be popping. But do you love him? Love ain't got nothing to do with this, Arthur. I don't want to struggle. I'll pretend to love him. What we gonna get with that? What we gonna get as a people with that? Then we wonder why our young youth out here killing each other, doing the shit that we do. What do they know about love if everything is to get away from the struggle? What do they know about love if everything is to get away from the struggle? And I'm not saying have struggle love. I'm not saying inconvenience yourself if it's not economically feasible for you and you don't want to live that life. By all means, find greener pastures. But don't go out here teaching people that you find greener pastures and you do that fuck shit for the benefit of just being secure and not being poor. Because that shit ain't going. Watch this movie called Gone with the Wind. That shit ain't going to help you either. Or watch this shit called Imitations of Life. That's what y'all need to watch. All y'all struggle love heroes or anti-struggle love heroes, go watch Imitations of Life. And watch the end where her mama died. And her blackness kick in. And when she realized, damn, being poor was alright because I had my mom, I had real love, I had value. Because the value was within my mom seeing in me, the people who gave me life. And not whether or not my man could afford to buy me everything I want. Because if you look now, the people that's promoting that shit, they beefing. They beefing. Heavy. Suing motherfuckers, getting sued. I don't want to listen to a motherfucker like that. Yeah, Psycho, I ain't see that. What was that about? So what was that about? Yeah, I don't know, man. Salt and pepper kind of weird to me. They're kind of weird. Yo, and the last and final topic, the NFL playoffs. I know a lot of you ladies probably don't want to talk about sports, but ladies, I'm going to be here every day, and I want you ladies to kick it in, and I want y'all to talk about what y'all want to talk about. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to love, because I got a lot of questions about love. I got a lot of questions about relationships, but not in the sense of why they broke and all this and that. Just, are we doing the right thing to keep these relationships healthy and meaningful? Right? That'll be my next show. But yo, Psycho, Rallo, GMT, we got GMT in the building, the one and only GMT, who's definitely making a name for himself. Make sure y'all check his channel out. Make sure y'all subscribe to my brother GMT's channel. You know what I'm saying? GMT and Rallo, I know y'all probably been collecting a couple of dollars this weekend on these games. Yeah, see, Rallo, I'm with you. Get that money, Rallo. DOD, I know you in the clouds. Rallo want that paper, man. Rallo wants that paper, man. So, yo, Rallo, Psycho, GMT, Renaissance Man, do y'all think that Aaron Rodgers should have ran that shit in? Because I kept looking at the shit, and yesterday I didn't realize he had that much space to run. Go Chiefs. The hell yeah. I was a little nervous, man, because they hadn't been looking, the Chiefs hadn't been looking good the last 5 or 6 games of the year, but they picked it up last night. Yeah, they blew it. They blew it because my thing was, yo, you got that whole open field over there, man. Run that thing in, man. Run that thing in there. I don't know. And Tom Brady threw 3 interceptions. You got to take advantage of that, man. You got to take advantage of that. Like, you just can't fucking let that man make all those mistakes and then you don't take advantage of his mistakes. You just, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, Miss FedEx. Yeah, man. And see, this is my thing, right? When you call people the GOAT and all this and that. Now think about this. Let's rewind to last week, right? When Chad Henne, anything is possible. When Chad Henne had 15 yards to go to get the first down, this backup quarterback put it all on the line and ran and dove head first. Risk it all, dog. He could have jammed his neck. He could have did anything. Now, Aaron Rodgers, they put you in the GOAT conversation. They talking about you one of the greatest of all time. You the MVP. Matter of fact, you probably going to be the unanimous MVP this season. And you couldn't run 12 yards to at least try to get to the pylon. See, that's what I'm saying, man. What you think, Psycho? What you think? Yeah, cause but they were some good games though. I'll give props where props is due. They were some good games. I definitely give them a round of applause for that, cause those were some good games last night. Good games last night. Good games last night. I went with my boys. We watched it. Aaron Rodgers sold his team out. And Pat Mahomes showed that he the best. But this is the thing, right? I see the Super Bowl as the passing of the torch. It's the venerable God versus the up and coming God. And it's gonna be the passing of the torch. Cause see, for me, Pat Mahomes is all them cats, man. Pat Mahomes is Montana, little Randall Cunningham, he ain't got the Michael Vick because he can't really get out like Michael Vick, but he got the basketball elusiveness, right? So he can move because he's a all around athlete. So he just got a little bit of everybody, man. Like last night, he threw the underhand to Kelsey for the touchdown. Just crazy athleticism, crazy what's the name? Just crazy skills, man. Just crazy skills. I love Pat Mahomes, man. Big shout out to Pat Mahomes, man. Big shout out to Pat Mahomes and Kansas City Chiefs. What y'all think about Josh Allen? I think he's gonna be good, but I last night showed that he don't got that grace under fire. Like he kind of panicked last night. A lot of the balls was going high. You know, a few balls he threw to what's name went high. Diggs. And another thing, both them games they was hitting hard. Like they don't like each other. Them four teams was really trying to hurt each other yesterday. That was old school football. You had fights. You had roughing the passer. You had all type of madness going on yesterday. That was big time football. Big shout outs to Tampa Bay front four. Wow, them cats really was on Aaron Rodgers. That's what it was though. He was getting hit like JPP. The other cat, they was putting it on him. Yeah, Josh Allen wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. Yeah, they was great games, Rallo. They was real good games, man. Real defensive, tough games, man. Old school football, man. Kind of reminded me of back in the day. You know what I mean? Back in the San Francisco Giant games of the 80s, right? Those hard-fought games, you know what I mean? The Jim Burts, the Banks, the Carl Banks, Lawrence Taylor, Harry what's name, the Ronnie Lotts, where you just had so many great stellar players on both sides of the ball. And we kind of seen that this weekend. We should get an NFL round of applause for doing what they did this weekend. They had a real good showing this weekend. Real good showing. So, man, is there anything y'all want to talk about? Any topics y'all want to talk about? You know what I mean? Harry Carson. Man, when Jim Burt Jim Burt ended Joe Montana's career. Jim Burt was the reason Joe Montana ended up in the Kansas City Chiefs uniform. But, you know what? That's one thing I'll give Eli Manning, right? Like, Eli Manning wasn't an all-time great, even though he brought my Giants 2 Super Bowl championships. Eli Manning was afforded the opportunity to retire with the team he came in with the league with, right? And some of the greats of the game didn't get that opportunity. Some of the greats of the game. Like Joe Montana ended up on the Chiefs. From what I hear, what's his name ended up on the Rams. Jim Plunkett on the Redskins. Just so many Marcus Allen in it. Who would have ever thought that Marcus Allen or not? No, I'm gonna tell you the one that kicked my ass. I ain't gonna lie to you, and I hate the Cowboys. But seeing Emmitt Smith in the Arizona Cardinals jersey, that shit wasn't right. That was blasphemy. See, for me, shit like that ain't supposed to happen. If you gave your all to a team and you was an all-time great, man, you got to let them dudes rock with that. That like the Knicks trading away, what's his name? Trading away, what's my man name that do all they basketball games now? Damn, oh man. What's his name? Y'all, the Knicks, one of the great Knicks of all time, man. Clyde Frazier, right? The Knicks getting rid of Clyde Frazier to the Cavaliers was just the epitome of what have you done for me lately? And I don't want to see Aaron Rodgers on another team. Because I don't think like Brady is a calculated general, a calculated great player, and I think he calculated his move and he seen that Tampa Bay had Ferraris. Like me and my boys yesterday, we was like Tom Brady ain't never had, Ferraris, Jaguars. He always had Chryslers, Pontiacs, his Chevrolets, and now he got a showroom full of cars. Like Leonard Fournette showed up yesterday. I don't know about Mike Evans. He was dropping a lot of passes. Like Mike Evans ain't been looking good the last 5 or 6 weeks. He may be injured, something going on. I don't know what's up with that, right? But he got weapons. Brown is a weapon, right? And this is another little thing I found yesterday from my sport geeks, right? Tom Brady found him some new white boys. In New England he had white boys, but he found a new Gronk and he found his new Edelman, right? The dude who scored the touchdown at the end of halftime and the one who scored when they came out of halftime, right? That's what he needed. You see the smiles on their faces? Nah, Rollo. If Aaron Rodgers go to Seattle and they get rid of Wilson for Aaron Rodgers, I'll never watch football again. I'm trying to understand how Russell Wilson has considered having a down season and Seattle went 12-4. Yes, but see, Randy Moss was a little different, right? Randy Moss was like his first Cadillac, right? And at that time, Randy Moss wasn't. He was a used BMW Psycho. He was like a nice used 850. He wasn't like brand new off the show floor. He was used, but he could get good mileage. And as you see, he was a good 850. Because I was at that game when they went 16-0. I went to that New England Giants game when they went 16-0. That was a sporting event like no other. Every radio station, every television station in the metropolitan area was there. I seen young ladies at that football game with high heels on. Like, it was crazy too, because it was basically a game where New York Giant fans had sold all their tickets to the New England fans and to their friends, because that's all that was at the game. A bunch of New Englander fans and a bunch of I got the tickets from my boy fans, right? But it was live, man. It was a nice day that day. It was like 60 degrees outside. You had the radio stations outside bumping music. It was a magical day. And they beat us, but if we would have had 3 more minutes in that game, we would have beat them. But what mattered was, when we seen them again in the Super Bowl, we got at that ass. We got at them. So yeah, Rollo, okay, the Saints, yeah, I can see that. Damn, will the Saints fans, will they have the kind of transition to where the Saint fans will be open to Aaron Rodgers coming? That'd be weird. Woo. That'd be heavy. See, it was different for Tom going to Tampa Bay, because replacing Winston, what's his name, that was needed. Right? That was needed. Big shout outs to Ybor City, because they're going to be partying. They was partying in Ybor City last night, I'm sure. Because Tampa is a beautiful place. I lived there for a few years in West Shore. I lived in Palmacia for a while, and I lived in West Shore. Yeah, Tampa is really nice. It's got a lot of hood parts like northeast, east, but like the western part, south part, out by the football stadium and all that shit. That shit is beautiful. Down there by MacDill Air Force Base, all that is wonderful. So big shout out to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Kansas City Chiefs, my new team, because I'm a diehard Giants fan, but I can't do all this losing we've been doing. And Daniel Jones, I'm sorry, bro. Like, I'm sorry. I want to like you, but we had momentum. They put you back in. Colt McCoy should have finished off the season. You should have sat your ass down somewhere. So you kind of costed us that playoff run, that cycle on them took, and that kind of hurt me. But big shout outs to the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But ain't that crazy? Like, Tom Brady go to another team and he take him straight to the Super Bowl. Ain't that some crazy shit? And the Super Bowl, like Tampa Bay is playing the Super Bowl in a home stadium. Say that again. Tampa Bay will be playing the Super Bowl in their home stadium. I don't think I've ever heard of that. I don't think I've seen it in my lifetime. That's pretty dope. I don't know how much it's going to benefit them because November 29th, the Chiefs went in there and smacked them around pretty good. The score was 28-24, but that wasn't indicative of what the game looked like. It was kind of a mismatch, you know what I'm saying? It was kind of a mismatch. So, yo, man, I'd like to thank everybody for showing up to the AC Star Morning Show. Please hit the like, subscribe, and share button. If y'all want to talk about anything, I got a few more minutes. Because I fucked my arm up real bad, y'all. A couple months ago, man. I fucked my arm up, so I got to go to physical therapy every day because the pins, the titanium pins that they put in them shit starting to move around a little bit. So I got to go to therapy for an hour a day. I don't know, Rallo. Rallo, I ain't a gambler person on sports, man. I gamble on politics and shit, but I don't really gamble on sports, man. I ain't really a gambler. Like, I don't really gamble like that, man. So I ain't no betting man, right? I just want to see a good game. You know, I want to see Pat Mahomes get another chip and be the new face of the NFL. You know, I want him to be royally crowned, right? Where Tom Brady, after the game is over, because he probably ain't gonna shake his hand if they lose. So I want Tom Brady to put that crown on Pat Mahomes' head and say, "You are now Sir Lancelot," and I want him to, you know, be the new king of the NFL. So, yo, man, I'd like to thank everybody for showing up, man. You guys are wonderful, man, for giving me a few minutes of your day, man. I ain't really have much today. It's just Monday. I'm trying to stay consistent and try to be on here every day. I'm going to go from StreamYards probably the rest of the week so I can have guests up. I just wanted to have a little impromptu Monday episode, kind of talk about some things about the beef. You know, I like O'Shea, you know what I mean? I don't really know him personally. We know each other, little interaction here and there. But I like any black man that's trying to do things that's big. You know, him being a medical doctor, going to medical school, like, I find that to be, you know, extremely important, right? Whether he succeeded or finished or he's still working on it, just the fact that he went on such a venture and he wasn't afraid to be a physician and wasn't afraid to take on that challenge, to me says a lot about him and his character. What he go on here, what he's learning is when you in the street and you get in the bag, it's going to be a lot of motherfuckers coming for you. And I'm sure he knew that because he's not like a street person, but he has street knowledge and street sense. So I know he's aware of what the space brings and what money brings. Biggie said it best: more money, more problems, right? Biggie said it best. You know, Biggie let us know when you climb the economic ladder, it's gonna be more issues, it's gonna be more problems. People gonna be tugging at your leg, they're gonna be wanting your spot, right? But we can't let that be the overall thought process for everybody, right? What my motto was in the block, it's enough money for everybody. See, when I started cutting grass and started my landscaping business, that's what one of my boys said. He said, "Buck, don't worry about that. It's enough green grass for everybody." And he right. Because it gets so to a point sometimes for landscapers that they really have to tell people to stop calling them after a while because we're booked. There is no no landscaper that's looking for jobs. Like, there's grass to be cut everywhere. And that's how we got to look at our lives. There's money to be made everywhere. But are we willing to step up to the plate, and are we willing to challenge ourselves to do the things that will bring us increased financial security? Right? Or are we going to just rely on government or rely on, others, right? Or are we going to do the self-reflection and dig deep within ourselves and find the skill sets and the tools that we can monetize, right? That we can capitalize off of, no matter how small it may be or no matter how large it may be. How do we commodify our personal talents, right? And not put all our dreams and hopes into our YouTube heroes or our social media heroes, right? Or our pop culture heroes, right? These people, their philosophies, their thoughts, we should use them as jewels and as seeds to plant in ourselves for our own harvest, for our own come up. Because that's what they're doing. See, they're quick to tell you their positions. They're quick to tell you what their moves are, right? But they had to do the self-work. They had to dig deep and find out what their value was and how could they market their value. Even if it's a hustle. Even if they fake it till they make it. And they adjust and they adapt to the environment and they try to roll with the punches and they try to reimagine themselves and reinvent themselves. Have you thought about reinventing yourself today? Have you thought about commodifying your best skills and your attributes today? Have you thought about what your personal currency value is? So if we was to put you on the market today, what would your value be? Have you thought about commodifying yourself? Have you thought about putting yourself on the market to say that I have worth? Or do we live vicariously through our heroes and through our social media gods? Do we live vicariously through them? Do we put all our hopes and all our dreams and all our passions and all our understandings into their philosophies, into their successes? Is it any different than when we go to church every Sunday and we give the church money, we give the preacher our money as he gives us a sermon, he tells us about ourselves and our relationship with the spiritual world, and how if we align ourselves with the spiritual world, there'll be a bounty at the end, and that bounty will be bountiful, and it'll overflow with gifts and love and wisdom and all these other things. Do we put money in our own personal collection plates? Do we wake up every day and drop a nickel in our Cash App? Do we pay our own Patreon? Are we a member of our own personal club? That's what I want to leave you with today, folks. Do you have a membership to your own personal club? Do you put money in your own personal Cash App, which is you? Do you understand your self-worth like you understand Bitcoin's worth? Are you the GOAT in your own life? Are you planning a Super Bowl? Are you training to win a Super Bowl? Yo, this your man AC Star. I want to thank all y'all for coming out. Please don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.